is the Big O Show. This 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 is the Big O Show.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Miles an hour, that's a Category 4 hurricane. 3 deaths are reported in Florida after more than 24 were killed in the Caribbean. This
With more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes, Welton Rayom is committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle, slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. That's 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines. If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is
The viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Just when you think you're free for the weekend and you're not going to do any shows, they suck you right back in. Good afternoon, boys and girls all over the world. Yes, sir. It is time to address the FUD. Seems like I have to do this with crypto. I have to do this with sports all the time. It's just amazing how, there's just all kinds of things. It's one of those things that in life, things evolve in life, right? And things change. We go from carrier pigeon to the telegraph, right? Then, eventually we get to the phone. And we get to that rotary phone. We go to a dial tone. Then we get to cell phones, those kind of things. We evolve, right? We continue to evolve as a society. We were trading goats and cows, and then we were trading gold and silver, and we were trading human beings, and we were disgusting and all kinds of stuff. And then eventually we started trading dollars. Right. And then guess what? Here comes CBDCs that they're going to shove down your throats. And so that's going to eliminate dollars. There's going to be no dollars out there. It costs, I don't know if you guys understand this, but it actually costs more money to print money than it is to, actually have it. So that's why they're going to go digital anyways. We were eventually going there at one point or another, but things evolve. I mean, if you wanted to grow up to be a toll taker, that's not necessarily a career now that's really going to work for you anymore, right? Nobody's taking tolls anymore. We got automatic now, right? So there's jobs out there that are no longer useful. And, the world evolves and sports evolve. And in baseball, when I grew up, it was manufacturing home runs and big innings. Now it seems to be either it's all a home run or a strikeout, right? In basketball, it's more about, there isn't like the inside game is not the same anymore. We used to have people that could post up all the time. Not important anymore. Now it's the three, So things evolve in sports and life evolves. I've seen it in my business, right? Guys that are either even younger than me, and guys that are either my age or older, they never got into social media. They just didn't really then they ran you over. You know what I mean? They didn't adjust to the world of digital that we are in now, platforms, which I saw a couple of years ago. And I said, I got to get out of this radio shit because it's dying and, all this. So it's everything evolves and you got to understand it. And if you don't adjust, like I'm a big Bitcoin guy, as you all know out there, I'm big on crypto and blockchain and Web3 and, because I think that's where we're evolving to. And this story about the Miami Dolphins and Dalvin Cook is part of evolution. It's all part of evolution, folks. And the evolution is that we have a fan base that wants to negotiate against themselves. Thank the Lord that Chris Greer is the one that is in charge and not some of you out there. People like my man Omar Kelly, who I love to death, but he wanted to pay him $7-8 million right off the bat. Let's go, let's pay him. And no, you're a fool. You're not negotiating against yourselves. And so what's happened is Derrick Henry, Aaron Jones takes $17 million to $11 million, a $6 million pay cut in order to stay with Green Bay. Saquon Barkley could not get a deal. Austin Eckler can't get a deal. Running backs are not appreciated anymore. They're not used like that anymore. They're not going to be bell cows anymore. Some of you have to evolve and understand that they already have 4 backs here. And I know they love 3 of them, and I'll explain why. And sure, you can alternate Cook with the 4th one, which is probably Gaskin, but that doesn't mean he's going to come in and take over and become the bell cow. Earl Campbell is done, ladies and gentlemen. Derrick Henry is the toll taker. Okay? He's the toll taker. There aren't a lot of them left. We don't need toll takers anymore. And that's just the way it is. And some of you have to evolve, and you don't understand where the sport is going. And that's why you win with Pacheco as your running back in Kansas City. When Kansas City lost the Super Bowl a couple of years ago, was it because they didn't have a running game? Or was it because Pat Mahomes was on his ass? You win with the passing game. You win with home runs. You win with the 3. One of the things that the Heat has struggled is that they're a 2-point team in a 3-point world. And they were terrible with the 3 throughout the regular season. Somehow or another, they lit it up in the playoffs, and then they kind of fizzled out at the end. But that's kind of who they are, and they need more firepower. That's why you need Lillard, right? It's not because you need Lillard to drive more. It's not because you need Lillard to facilitate more. It's because you need Lillard to fire from the second he walks out of the gym. The second he walks out of that locker room, he's open. Give me the ball. Here's 3. The game has changed. And so they use 3 running backs. That's what they do nowadays, pretty much everywhere. What a lot of you grew up with, you need to evolve. It's not the days of Walter Payton anymore. We're not giving it to Barry Sanders the entire time. Emmitt Smith is not going to carry it always. You're not going to give it to Marion Barber. 20 times, 25 times. It's just not going to happen anymore. They don't want to put a lot of money on that position because it is such an injury-filled position. So there are a lot of factors, okay? And so Jeff Darlington is a fabulous reporter. He does an excellent job. And he reported something that was 100% on target. Yeah, Dalvin Cook isn't signing. So what? Guess what? It's the same deal that's been on the table. What's happened is the game evolved, and Dalvin Cook is delusional. And now he is learning the hard lesson of being delusional because you're a running back. You're not wanted. No, they're not standing in line waiting for you. So the Dolphins aren't going to offer an exorbitant amount of money for a guy they're going to use part-time. Mike McDaniel has a relationship with Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson and even Ahmed from San Francisco. He comes here, he brings those two guys, one via trade, one via free agency. They are loyal to him. They played well. They re-sign. They commit to him 2-year contracts. So now, is he going to turn his back on him? And then he gets infatuated with a rookie by the name of Devon A-Chain. And I get it. You all like to play fantasy manager. And no, go sign Cook and give him 25 carries so I can have him on my fantasy team also. It's not the way it works. So the coach is not just going to crap on everybody that he brought in. And let's do a little homework. Raheem Mostert cap hit $2.1 million. Jeff Wilson 2.2. Raheem Salvon Ahmed $1.4 million, and Gaskin $975. So it tells you what they feel about Ahmed compared to Gaskin, right? There's a $500,000 difference there. So you look at it, they've got money committed. Do you think they're going to like all of a sudden pay this guy $6-7 million? No. They're not going to pay him more than they pay collectively the other three. That doesn't make any sense. So they're probably offering him somewhere, like I've told you for a while now, the 3.5, 4, 4.5 range, something that's reasonable. And he's probably getting 5 or 6 in some other places, not much more. When you take away the taxes, moving to New York and moving, and then you're only going to sign a 1-year deal. You're going to move again, and all you have to take into all of that. It's not worth it. And the Dolphins know it. Chris Grier is in complete control here. So what does Cook and his agent do? Jeff Darlington has a conversation. Oh, no, we're not signing. So he reports it, and it's accurate. But it's horseshit. Of course he's not signing with anybody, dude. Has he signed with anybody? Is there a buzz? Oh, my God, people are bringing in Dalvin Cook. They're rolling out the red carpet. Yeah, they've got hoes all over the place. They're throwing champagne, everything. No, nothing's going on. Nobody wants Derrick Henry. Aaron Jones had to take a huge pay cut. Aaron Eckler said, trade for me. Nobody wants you. Saquon Barkley says, what? You're giving Daniel Jones the contract? Look around. Look around. What's going on? And Dalvin Cook has this thing like, oh, sign a 1-year deal, and then I'll go get a multi-year. No, you're not, dude. You're stuck on 1 or 2-year deals from here on out. And if he's smart with the Dolphins, he signs Chris Grier's special 2-year deal, where Chris Grier says, here you go, Dalvin, we'll give you the 2nd year and we'll guarantee half of it. And listen, maybe at the end, they come up with this bullshit that they got a little bit more out of the Dolphins and some incentives. And I'm sure that Chris Grier probably is holding back a little bit to give him, but he's in the driver's seat. Dolphin fans, you used to have the Tannenbaums of the world and the Jeff Irelands and the Dave Wanstedts and you had your stupid owner giving away money to Ndamukong Suh like it was ridiculous, like he was a quarterback. Those days are gone. They're not sitting there like idiots and just giving money away. They're going to deal from a position of leverage. They know Cook wants to be here. This is his hometown. It's not going anywhere. It's staying right here in Miami, right there in Miami Gardens. Beautiful Miami Gardens right there. You see that facility in Miami Gardens? It is gorgeous, top notch. Dalvin, it's up to you, dude. You want to go to New York and you want to deal with moving there, and you're only going to go there for a year, and you don't even know if that's going to be a disaster because that's untested. This, it was just a couple of injuries last year that derailed this team from actually having a much better year. And he knows it. And Chris Greer knows it. And the front office knows it. And Mike McDaniel knows it. And Mike McDaniel knows that his wicked-ass passing game is going to make his running game better. But it's all about really the left guard and the right tackle, not about who's running. Jeff Wilson will be productive. Salvon Ahmed will be productive. Raheem Mostert will be productive. And I have no doubts in my mind that Devon Achane is going to be used in ways that you can't imagine. But the key is Armstead staying healthy, Connor having a terrific year, the left guard settling down, the right tackle settling down. Hunt is money. That's the key. That's the key there. That's what you got to focus on. And then you got to focus on salaries that are already given. And you got to focus on commitments that are already made, plans that are already being set in, plays that are being run throughout the offseason already with all these guys. This is not fantasy, bro, where you just scrap it and throw everybody to the side and then everybody sees what you did. You're going to shit on the guys that you have there and you bring in Dalvin. That's not the way it goes. So you're not paying him to be a bell cow. So why pay him to be a bell cow? Because he's not going to be one. He's going to be part of a team, part of a rotation of running backs. If he's hot, he'll get several carries, just like Raheem Mostert would, or Jeff Wilson, or if this kid, Achane, who is dynamic, if he gets it early and figures it out, I think he's going to get 5 to 10 carries a game. There's only one football, and they like to throw it. So I try to tell you, I tried to tell you with Bitcoin for over the last couple of years, right? Even on the dip in the last that we had for last year and a half, 18 months, really, no, maybe almost 20 months, 24 months now that we're into this thing. But I told you, and we hit the lows in October where we went right into about late December where we went to 16.5. And I told you eventually institutions will get into it. And now you're seeing BlackRock and Infinity and everything. And Bitcoin's at 30 and holding strong and decoupled from the stock market. And it's going to just explode. And I told you not to listen to the fear, uncertainty, and doubt, the FUD that goes on from the government and people out there, the rich people, BlackRock and Goldman Sachs and all these people, because they want you to get scared and sell, so they buy low because it's all fear and uncertainty and doubt. Same shit here in reporting. This is all fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And guess where it's coming from? The Cook camp. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. They ran into a monster called the running back position. You're the toll taker. It's not my problem. It's not my fault. I didn't create the problem. It developed that way. In the NBA, if you're a 2-point player, it's going to be a really tough world for you because you got to learn to shoot the three to become even more valuable in this league. It's not my fault. It's not your fault. I didn't do it. It happened. Things evolve. Life changes. If you don't change with it, it's the way it goes, right? Threads is out now. So I got to get on Threads now and see if this is the thing. And, oh, my God, start to build followers there and communicate with everybody there, too. But what am I going to do? It's part of my life. Adjust or die. And Dalvin Cook's at a moment now where he must adjust or die. Do you want to play for your favorite team? Do you want to play for your hometown team? Or do you want to take a couple of dollars more and play in a situation you really don't want to be in? Because if he really wanted to be in it, wouldn't he have signed already? If there was a real sexy offer out there, wouldn't he have signed already? And that's why the fear, uncertainty, and doubt is fired today with a bullshit report that, oh my God, he doesn't sign the deal. Of course he doesn't sign the deal, dude. He hasn't signed the deal for weeks because he's not signing any deal. Not with the Dolphins, with nobody, because nobody is that interested in Dalvin Cook. Nobody is saying, Dalvin, you're the guy. Remember what he was saying? I want a team that wants me for me and that I'm the difference and I can be the... That's not happening. Toll taker. Not happening. Wake up. Okay? Wake up out there, because if you're asleep like Dalvin Cook is at the wheel, then you're doing the same thing. He's a fantastic player. What he needs to do is say, how do I milk the next best year or two of my career right now? Where do I go? What do I have the best chance? I put team incentives together instead of individual incentives, plus my contract. Where can I go? Okay, if it's not much of a difference, then I'm just going to go to Miami. It's not Miami's fault that Chris Greer's not offering you a sexy deal. Nobody's offering you a sexy deal. Don't make it sound like Miami, dude. FUD. Don't blame Miami. Don't blame the system. Don't hate the player. Hate the game. I'm sorry if Chris Greer is playing it right. I'm sorry if he's got the best interests of you, the Miami Dolphins, and their fans. He's trying to build the team. They kept waiting. This couldn't happen. They drafted A-Chain, makes it more complicated. It's just the way it goes. The clock starts now on A-Chain. So what are you going to do? Draft a guy and not use him? Get the hell out of here, dude. Then you're killing them for drafting A-Chain. Isn't that funny? So that's what's going on. And I hope you guys understand that. Evolve, or it runs you over. Remember, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Andy Cornell, thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Thank you. Who was number one there? Green Lion. Thank you. Jeff from Long Island. What up, Owen Sean? People need to relax. Just because he doesn't accept the offer doesn't mean that in the end he won't sign. He has no choice, but but we will see. I still think I think we get Cook. Yeah. This is all bull crap. This is just waiting for the week of training camp, and then he'll sign. This is actually what just happened by the, agent or Dalvin, whatever, giving it to Jeff. They just showed their cards. They showed how desperate they are. That's all. It's not like any team is talking. It's not like the Jets are talking and trying to drum up interest or anything. Nothing. So what? So he had an offer from the Jets. Big deal. Obviously, it wasn't that sexy. Right? Still there. Still sitting there. So, it's don't hate the player. Hate the game. And the game's changed. Kind of curious, going live during Summer League game on a Saturday. Yeah, I don't give a shit about that, dude. There's called something that adjust or die. There's a DVR, bro. I can go back and watch it live. I've got the rest of my Saturday. After I'm done here, I'll post it. I don't really care about that stuff. I'll watch it. But just because I'm not watching it live, remember, there is something called on demand. I experienced that here on this channel. A lot of our smallest audience is our live audience. The biggest audience is the one that says, I'm going to watch it whenever the hell I want to watch it. Let's see. Devin Jordan in. What's with all these sports franchises in Florida always being cheap? The Heat, Dolphins, and Marlins. The Dolphins spend in the Heat. They sometimes, we'll see. They're trying to spend now with Lillard, but the Dolphins are not cheap. That's complete stupidity. Anybody that says the Dolphins are cheap, you're a moron. That's just pure ignorance. You get no breaks there, by the way, because that's just plain stupidity. You're just throwing shit out there, and you don't know what the hell you're talking about. The Dolphins are maybe the team that spends the most because they put almost another $1 billion into their stadium, building the practice facility. Are you kidding me? And building up that entire. Well, you probably don't even live here or go to that stadium, bro. Actually. Some of you probably aren't even from here, and you don't even understand what's going on over there. The conversion of that place is just sick. They got gondolas and F1 race, and they got a tennis tournament. And are you kidding me, dude? Like the amount of money that's been poured into that stadium, you're a dumbass for even including the Dolphins in there. Let me see. Adjust or die. Going to use that one with my parents when they asked me to fix anything technology or the internet. Well, that's just the way it is, Chad. I know it sucks because, old people have a problem with adjusting. That's kind of, the way it goes. I see it, man. I see people my age that are like, with the crypto thing. I see it all the time. It's like, okay, bro, whatever. When it happens, I told you, right? I told you that it was going to happen, right? And so there's a reason why Larry Fink from BlackRock is now like all over it, 4 years ago, he's calling it money laundering, and now he's saying it's the technological breakthrough that will help us and everything. And it's like, it's hilarious. Why? Because they've been buying up Bitcoin behind the scenes. That's why, as they knock the price down. They're not stupid. These people are way ahead. Let's see. I keep telling guys LeBrum's tears are a serious injury. Plus, he had surgery. Doesn't help asking price. LeBrum. Just come home, Dalvin. You can make that money up in playoff and Super Bowl bonuses. Nah, he won't. No. But I'll tell you this. If Dalvin comes here and they do win a Super Bowl, he'll be a Super Bowl champion. That will help him for ads and being a talking piece. Dude, Joe Namath is doing commercials at 80 years old. Shula was doing it, when he couldn't even stand. He had a commercial that he was on a couch and Marino was standing in the back. You know what I mean? And when you're a champion like Dwayne Wade, you'll do commercials for the rest of your life. That's the thing that sometimes athletes don't realize, that if you do sacrifice it for the right team and you win that championship, Chris Bosh will be a 2-time champion for the rest of his life, and people will want to use him as a mouthpiece for whatever because he's a 2-time champion. And that's always going to have value, and it's going to last for the rest of your career. So that's the other thing that helps in winning, that you may sacrifice some in the short term, but in the long term, you're Dalvin Cook, hometown kid. You won a Super Bowl with the Dolphins. Whatever, dude. Name the dealership in town. They may want to latch on to that forever. Hometown guy from high school to the Dolphins to the Super Bowl. Whatever. That kind of stuff is super sexy. So it's up to Dalvin. He has to take that chance if he thinks Miami has it. Or if he wants to make slightly a couple dollars, maybe somebody else is offering very little, it's really not that sexy. That's why he's still out there. That's why he's waiting, because the poor guy's been hit with a brutal reality that running backs are just not that sexy. They're not that needed. You're part of a carousel is how it is nowadays. Greetings from Germany. We're number 799.540 in the line to see the Dolphins in Germany. Obviously didn't make it. I'm sorry, Sasha. Oh, man, that's amazing. That's why I say we got to have a European division. We got to put it. We put it in Frankfurt or Berlin. I don't know which one. And then we put one in Barcelona, in Paris, and in London. I've said this over and over again. That's how you got to expand if you're the NFL. We're ready for Europe. So what you do is you expand 2 teams one year and 2 teams the next year. You create a practice facility, an international practice facility in Europe that is centralized with a hotel next to it That way, the visiting teams from America go there for a couple of weeks. And then, in Europe, you can travel easily in between those cities. So you play a couple of teams, then you come back and you have a bye week. So once you add those 4 teams and you're at 36, what you do is you have 2 bye weeks. And one of those bye weeks is for a Thursday night game. And the other bye week is when you go to Europe. Or when European teams come here, we have somewhere local, like some kind of place like not Indy because it's too cold there, but maybe somewhere along the maybe in Alabama, maybe in Mobile. You create a practice facility and hotel. Since you do the Senior Bowl and all that stuff, you can do it there. And when the European teams come, boom, and then they have maybe from Pensacola, they can fly out to all the different locations that they have to visit for a couple of weeks, and then they go back to Europe and they have their bye week. But we're ready for that. We're ready for that because the games in those 4 cities, you'll never be able to have a ticket again. They will sell out the second they go on sale. Europe will gobble up all those tickets. And then you add the Americans that want to go see their favorite team in Paris or in London or in Frankfurt or something like that. Are you kidding me, dude? The amount of money, it's time for them to go. Look, football, the other football, has been genius, and that now you see how we watch it here religiously. We watch the Premiership and all that. People are going to bars all over the country now on Saturday mornings, or they're at home and they're on social media talking about, the Liverpool match or Arsenal or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So they've already infested young Americans specifically in soccer. They love it, right? We've infested them already with the NFL. And so it's time for the NFL to put 4 teams out there, but do it the right way. Like I say, that way you everybody gets rest. They get a bye week after they go out to Europe for a couple of weeks, or they come to the Americas for a couple of weeks or whatever, but do it the right way. And then you expand, by the way, to 18 games and 2 bye weeks, and you have a 20-week season. That's it. So I've already resolved it, bro. Just tell the commissioner to get it done, and that's it. Those 4 teams would be sick. They would crush attendance records in the NFL. They would be monstrous over there because it becomes also kind of like what Vegas has become for us here, that it's not that Vegas is this incredible town that can support sports on its own. It's because it's an amazing destination situation. So every city that is visiting, those fan bases want to go to Vegas to go see their team. I'm dying to see the Dolphins play the Raiders. One day the Heat will play whatever NBA team that goes there. I haven't seen the Panthers and the Knights yet there. I'm dying to see that. Eventually the Marlins will play the A's. That'll be cool. Those are things that I would love to do because it's Vegas, baby. Vegas, baby. Nice jersey. Well, it's a Tua jersey. Of course it's a nice jersey. Who signed? I already told you guys already. Dalvin signs first because camp is coming right around the corner. We're a couple of weeks away. He'll have to sign right before camp because he has to sign with whatever team he's going to get in a rhythm with and all that. So he's going to sign the week before camp. That's done, whether it's the Dolphins or somebody else. The Dame situation is going to drag on into late August, early September, leading up to camp. So they don't want Dame returning to Portland. So then they'll be like, oh, shit, we can't get a deal from anybody else. We got to figure it out with the Heat. And then they'll get creative and they'll figure it out in sometime in August or early September. And then that's it, bro. It's over. But you expect Cook to sign way before Damian Lillard. Big O, I think Cook wants a long-term. Yeah, no, that's not going to happen, Devin. He's not getting a long-term deal from nobody. Nobody. Dude, nobody wants to give Derrick Henry a long-term deal. The most dominant running back of this generation. And he's sitting there in the final year of his deal. And Tennessee will not extend him after everything he's done for them. Okay? That quarterback was the biggest phony in the world. Had nothing to do with it. He was nothing more than a facilitator. The dude that the straw that stirred the drink the entire time was Derrick Henry. And they won't even re-sign him, Devin. Think about that, dude. Okay? He is going into the final year of his deal. That is criminal. That's the kind of guy that I would love to retire, but they don't care about running backs, bro. That's how cold this business is. This is a generational player, dude. This is Barry Sanders. This is Walter Payton. This is Jim Brown. Okay? That's what Derrick Henry is. I want you all to know that. Derrick Henry is freak of all freaks. Dalvin Cook is not. He's a hell of a running back, but he's not Jim Brown freak. He's not Walter Payton freak. He's not Barry Sanders freak. Derrick Henry is a freak. Nobody will trade for him, bro. Think about that. If you thought that you were a running game away, not just a running back, a running game away, and you said, let's turn back time, and you want to bring back Cher, okay, and say, hey, we could go this year or next year with the bell cow. Let's bring Derrick Henry. He can. And nobody will do it. Nobody will trade for the guy and give him a contract. Nobody will trade for Jim Brown. Barry Sanders is there for the taking. Nobody wants him. Walter Payton, in the peak of his career, he caught the most passes this year than he ever had. I'm talking about Derrick Henry. I'm comparing him to the freaks. And nobody will touch him. His own team won't give him security for next year. That's screwed up, dude. That's messed up. Don't hate the player. Hate the game. Toll taker. Let's see. I call it dying on the thrill hill at this point. Isn't Henry coming off a couple of seasons of it? No, dude, he had a pretty good year last year. He had a damn good year. I'll give you his stats last year. He's pretty good, man. Let's see. And like I told you, he must have seen something coming because he wasn't much of a pass catcher. And I was shocked at how he improved his pass catching stats last year. Okay. Let's see. Derrick Henry played in 16 games last year, had 349 carries, averaged 4.4 carries per rush, had 1,538 yards. And check this out, receiving, had 398 yards on 12.1 yards per catch. The years before, 154, 114, 206, 99, 136, 137. Last year, the dude had 398 receiving yards, bro. I don't know what he did, but he must have said, no, throw me the ball. I want to prove to people, because he's coming at the end of his contract. And so I'm one of the guys I would say, phenomenal runner, but remember, you're not going to use him as much in the passing game. And that some bitch said to people, no, let me plan ahead here. No, I can catch the ball. Throw me the ball. And he got them to throw him the ball. He had a hell of a year last year. I mean, he's Jim Brown, dude. He's Walter Payton. He's Barry Sanders. He's one of those guys. He's one of those just awesome players. Guys that they don't grow on trees. They're not normal. They're instant Hall of Famers. The second you think of them, there's no, he had some, no, you don't even think about it. You just say, wow, that is just total freak. And he's sitting there. Yeah. Toll taker. Anyway. Oh, and he throws TDs. That's right. That's right. The little jump. That's right. That's right. So I don't get it why the front office and coaches are so high on our O-line. Well, that's where we got to give them the benefit of the doubt because they've only seen Eichenberg and Austin Jackson, as I've explained, for 1 year, and it was injury-riddled. And they thought that they were improving under them before the injuries hit. They're not convinced like the rest of us that haven't been convinced from Austin Jackson and Eichenberg, and we're super nervous about them. They're not ready to give up on them. So we have to give them the benefit of the doubt because they're the O-line experts. And by the way, the running game was terrific last year. They ran for 4.5 yards a carry. The problem was Mike McDaniel didn't stick to the run at times when it was really working. And so the running game wasn't terrible last year. It was actually pretty good. It wasn't great. It wasn't dominant, but compared to years past, it was actually pretty good. So they know their shit. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt that maybe the wrong coaching and the wrong scheme didn't help those guys. And maybe with a little luck this year, and it's not like they've been injury prone. Eichenberg and Austin Jackson have not been injury prone players. That was last year that it was just, bad luck. Okay. Let's benefit of the doubt. They have earned it. I love what they did on offense. You got your head coach now on defense in Fangio. I am, as a Dolphins fan, like I've told you, this is the best Dolphins team since the early 90s. So I've been covering this team for 33 years, and obviously as a fan for, 40-something years since I was a child. Maybe 50 years, actually. If I go back to this, watching the Super Bowl with my dad. 50 years. So I've been watching this for a long time. This is our best team easily since the early 90s. From front office down to the players. Best team. And it might be even better than those 90s teams, but let's wait and see. Okay? I'm talking about team. The quarterback will, ain't nobody passing 13, One's going to need a lot to pass 13, but hey, as everybody knows, nobody in the media supports Uno more than I do. Nobody. I believe in Uno. Uno's going to win a championship here. But, well, I don't want to, you know what? Oh, yeah, what the hell? Move the Deadly Headley. Nobody will replace that guy right there. Can't wait to get the one for Zach when we go up there. True Fin fan says Henry is Earl Campbell, unstoppable. Exactly. That's a good comparison. He's better than Earl. He's a much better athlete than Earl, bro. He is, bro. This guy's explosive. This guy runs like a deer. Did you see that viral video of the moose running on the river? Right. That reminded me of Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is like, brother, he is ginormous. And he runs like a deer, like a moose. That a moose can just gallop and run really fast. Yeah, just like that, dude. Just like that. Scary stuff. Big O, this is off topic, but what are your thoughts on the Spurs' new draft pick, Wemby? I think all of the Britney Spears fan jinxed his debut. I mean, I can't blame him. I blame the security guy, and Britney's kind of a goofball, of course. Only a superstar would run and act like a little fan. Superstars send their people around them, if you have any. Hey, can you reach out to their security? Say, hey, look, this is Britney Spears. Want to meet? That's how you do it. You don't go surprising them. So she's kind of a goofball. You know what I mean? She means no harm except to herself, really. Let's be honest with Britney. She's not really harming anybody. She's kind of does that really things that may hurt herself more than anybody else. And obviously she hits herself. But he looks light in the ass. He's going to have to build up that body. Okay. He's going to need, if he wants, you know what? he can come to Little Havana and I could get a Cuban old lady and feed him some arroz y unos frijoles negros and some yuca and some maduros and we got to fatten the kid up a little bit there. You know what I'm saying? Because that is beanpole material right there. So he's going to get pushed around a little bit, but he's got skills. I'll tell you. The guy that I was more impressed with was the Sacramento kid, Keegan Murray. That kid looked good against the Heat the other night. Rafael Ligonde. Thank you, sir, for the love on the super chat. He says Miami Dolphins with Brian Cox was good. Yes, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Brian's a great guy. I know Brian. Smoked many cigars with Brian Cox. He is a really, really good dude. Big fan of Brian Cox. So, yeah, good person overall. Heck of a player. Inspirational type dude. All of that, man. Yeah, big fan of his. So, yeah, can't complain. Orlando, you recommend Depop? Oh, yeah. Yeah, over on Kendall Drive, love Depopas. If you love bruschetta, have the bruschetta. Okay? I think they make some of the best bruschetta in town. So their pizza is fantastic. The bread is so delicious, dude. It's one of those where some of you sometimes might leave the crust, right? This is one of those pizzas that you'll never leave the crust. Because it's so goddamn good, bro. I'm telling you, man. Depopas is good. I enjoy their food. I really do. Let's see. A steady diet of bistec a caballo. Oh, do you like Sergio's? When I'm in town, I always go there for my Cuban food. Yes, they do a good job. Definitely. I mean, La Casita is a great place to go for Cuban food. Obviously, Versailles and Coretta. They do a nice job too. There's several places that you can go and enjoy Cuban food around town. You know what I'm saying? I would have no problem with that place. So there you go. Anyway, all right. I just wanted to kind of calm you guys down. Please smash the hell out of the like button because it's kind of crazy. We got people going nuts and worried about, oh my God, he won't sign. And yeah, no, he hasn't signed for weeks, bro. It's like, oh, he has a contract on the table a week ago. Remember? Yeah, he's had that contract on the table since he got out. Like he met with the Dolphins hours after he was released. His agent and him knew exactly where the Dolphins were coming from. And they were like, oh, all right. Well, all right, and here's Dalvin to his agent. Hey, yeah, we'll go get another deal. We'll go. Okay, no problem, guys. Yeah, all right, we'll go get another deal. And then they went knocking on doors, and knocking on doors, and knocking on doors, and the offers were nothing, no offers or pennies more than what the Dolphins are offering. Nobody's knocking his socks off because nobody's paying for running backs. And guess who knows that? Chris Greer. And I told you a week ago when that report came, oh, he's got offers on the table from the Jets. And he's had the offer on the table from the Dolphins for weeks. And that's why when this report comes out, oh, he doesn't sign with anybody. This isn't news. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. It's a 24-hour news cycle, and they got to find a way to fill it. The good thing is I'm not tied to their news cycle. I'm not tied to some corporation. I don't owe anybody anything except the Dolphin Nation. So I have not bullshitted you from the get-go with this thing with Dalvin Cook. When they all said they would trade for him, I told you they wouldn't. When they all said, oh, the second he becomes available, the Dolphins will scoop him up, I said they wouldn't because they're not going to offer him big money. And guess what's happened? It's so desperate now that he's got to tell people with a desperate. He's fired a Flair. He's tired of talking to the volleyball, and he found the Flair, and he's fired it off there from Castaway Island. And he's hoping that you guys start stirring it up. And, oh, my God, how are the Dolphins not signing him? And Omar Kelly will come out with a commentary. Dolphins should give him a 5-year, $877 million deal and give him half the team. That's what they want. Fear, uncertainty, doubts. They've got Mostert and they're fine. They've got Jeff Wilson, they're fine. They've got A-Chain. They're fine with Ahmed. That guy ran for 5 yards a carry every time. They're not panicking. There's no panic here. The panic is coming from the kitchen and the cook. That's where it's coming from. Panic's not coming from Chris Greer. He's sitting on a beach somewhere right now, enjoying his off time going, the Tyreek video is not good. Anyway, I'm just, not really enjoying his off time that much, but, what are you going to do? Frankie Fresco, thank you for the love in the super chat. AEW Collision Saturday, CM Punk or Samoa Joe? Well, say Frankie. Okay. So you think I'm going to go against a guy named Samoa Joe when I'm wearing a Tua jersey? What is wrong with you, Frankie Fresco? Huh? What? How dare you? I don't go against my Polynesian brothers. I back my Polynesian brothers. Okay? So I'm there. I'm going with Samoa Joe, who's going to punk CM. How do you like them apples? Take it to the bank. Thank you for the super chat. Rafael Legonde. Messi is not Pele with the New York Cosmos. Can be bad. Well, they're not going to the playoffs. I've already said that, bro. You know what I mean? I've said it. They're not going to the playoffs. This is a really bad team. You know what I mean? I know you get Busquets and Alba now. And I like Campana. I do like Campana. Okay. If you could get Gregory back, but you need to win like every game. And I just don't see that. I watched Chicharito come here and struggle, man. You know what I mean? I've watched international players come here. It's a different league. It's physical. There's an adjustment that has to go with it. So I can see them struggle early on. I mean, soccer is chemistry. So I'm with you, Rafael. Unfortunately, I think it's going to be disastrous in the sense that you're going to get Messi and you're only going to see him for a couple of games and then it's over. And there will be no showcase in the playoffs, which sucks. But then next year is when you're going to have the year and then you readjust the team. And then hopefully that's when you have a fresh start. You have an off season, you have training camp and all that good stuff. But unfortunately, they don't know how to build a team yet at Inter Miami. They're not a good front office yet. They've got, the Moss brothers are awesome. They're great people. They're great dudes. They're going to win. They're going to bust their ass. They'll spend money. I mean, they've built that stadium for fun in Fort Lauderdale while they really want to build the one in Miami. Nobody does that. No owner does that except maybe Ross would do that. You know what I mean? So they're awesome people. Okay. I've worked for them. I met them, all that. But, I don't bullshit here on this show. I call things like I see it. And their front office has been a freaking disaster. From day one, they've been a disaster. And they suck at building a roster so far. So until they show me that they can actually, it doesn't take skill to get Messi or Busquets or Jordi Alba. That takes money and power. They have that. Show me the skill that you can draft young guys, find them, develop them, build a core around there. If you're just going to buy your way through it, then yeah, okay, that's fine. That's cool. I'm glad you can do it. But at one point or another, you got to start hitting on the draft and start, developing guys and all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And they suck at that. And they got to get better at that. Let's be honest. They suck at that. So We'll find out. Cool to have homegrown guys, but I mean, he is a Seminole, so there's that. No, he's a South Florida guy. Dude, he's a Seminole, so what, bro? Who cares, man? I mean, grow up, Jay. Grow up. We're talking about the pros, dude. If you got you got some, some hair in your ass because somebody's a Seminole or a Gator or something, or a Pit Panther or whatever, who gives a shit, dude? I don't care if he's so. I'm not supposed to like Tua because he played for Saban. Come on, bro. Grow up, dude. Grow up. That's some silly shit. Come on. Omar was on with Joe a couple of weeks ago and said Cook was worth 2 to 3 wins. That's ridiculous. I love Omar, but that's ridiculous. He's been ridiculous completely on the whole Cook thing. So, we disagree on that one wholeheartedly. Like we've disagreed on the cap. But then again, he agrees with me on the cap. Then he disagrees, but then he agrees, and then he disagrees, and then he agrees. Because then the cap matters, and then the cap doesn't matter. Because, of course, it doesn't matter because the Rams are so limited for a couple of years. No, it doesn't matter, of course. It doesn't catch up to you ever. Oh, my God. Anyway, so that's too funny. I love Omar. Nobody plays both sides better than Omar. That's the perfect way to do it, bro. Stir it up 1 week one way, stir it up the other week the other way. That's and half of you out there fall for that stuff, hook, line, and sinker. So it's all good. It's all good. It plays in the 24-hour news cycle, ladies and gentlemen. That's what it does. Anyway, we're out of here. We'll see you tomorrow. I mean, we'll see you on. No, I hope I don't see you tomorrow. Okay, I hope there's no other FUD that I gotta straighten out for tomorrow. I'm hoping I can relax tomorrow with the wife and the dogs. And the daughter's coming over. Play a little golf tomorrow in the backyard, thanks to our friends at Cutter's Edge Pro. Anyway, we will see you on Monday. Same time, same place, same bat channel.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.